and I ran a Spanish appointment. Did you understand what she was saying at the end? I go, oh, for 150,000, no, for 100,000, it came out to $140. And then she goes, hold on. First, it sounded like she was not interested at all, right? But then later on, she goes, well, hold on. I called Primerica, and for 100,000, they were giving me for $135.
Yeah.
Well, I've never gotten that objection. I called Primerica before you pulled me.
That's good. So there's a break point. Yesterday, the client, that's a perfect example. Yesterday, the client, for 100,000, I think it was
768
60. Let's say for 100,000, it was $67. For 150,000, it was $68. It doesn't make sense. There's a break point. Primerica, there's discounts on 150, I think 250, on 3. There's break points. So sometimes they're better off getting a little bit more, and it's about $1 difference, $2 difference, or $5.
The first break point is at 150,000.
Yeah.
But that was not the objection. The objection was that she called home office. And I'm thinking, okay, well, she already is inquiring about life insurance, right? Because she goes, my husband passed away the same month he was diagnosed with cancer, and he didn't have life insurance.
Wow. So
now I'm looking for my options, and I'm thinking, look, I'm going to help you. Why don't we do this? This is how overcame the objection, and thank God it worked. I said, this is what we're going to do. I'm giving you a quote. I don't understand why home office gave you another one, but let's do this. Let's start the app, and it might give me your quote, the one that home office gave her. And it might be mine, but we'll take it from her. She goes, okay, so we do it. Bro, when we did it for 150,000, it came out to 117. And she goes, oh my goodness, you're giving me something way better. I'm like, yeah. So
I wonder if it was Primerica she called.
No, she said she called Primerica, but it was just a funny objection.
Yeah.
What the point I'm trying to make is we need to be on it. When we're running an appointment, we gotta be on it. It's me and my client, and I gotta help you right now. And the tie downs, I like them too, because I've had clients that tell me, nah, I don't want to leave no money to these guys. They're already older. And that one tie down that I use is, how about just taking care of your funeral? And then they'll be like, oh, that, yeah. I said, okay, let's find out how much it costs. So you got to be ready. And what Donnie's going through comes from Tom Hopkins, The Art of Selling. There's the audio on YouTube for free. When this weekend, listen to it, because Tom Hopkins really taught me a role. We paid to go to his seminar, but now it's free on YouTube.
Yeah, that was it. That was yesterday. Yesterday, the client was like, it's because I have all this going on. I said, how about we just take care of the most responsible thing, which is the funeral? And she said, okay. And then we did it. The reason why I wasn't closing in the beginning of the business is because sometimes we, do the F&A first, do the quotes first, but then sometimes they really can't afford it, then lower it to something basic, right? If you're gonna walk into a house in Mecca or a trailer home in Mecca, working in the fields, you're not gonna sell them $150 a month because sometimes they can't even afford that single, right? Make sure they're right. So these are the steps on overcoming objection. When someone gives you the objection, hear them out. I know a lot of you guys right away, you guys start getting defensive. Don't get defensive. They're just asking a question. An A-type especially, I always tell Jacky, they're just asking you because they're curious. They're not asking you because they're trying to tell you that Primerica is bad, Hear them out. Hear out the client. Develop, look at what it says, the discipline. You got to be disciplined to hear more, right? God gave us, guess what, 2 ears and 1 mouth so we can listen, right? Develop the discipline of waiting until you're sure you're hearing the real area concern. See, sometimes we start answering something and it wasn't even that. I know at the client yesterday, the client said this, how long do I have to be paying the policy for? Now, Jacky thought, how long is the term for? But that wasn't the question. The question was, how long till the company pays out? How long do I have to be paying it till the company pays out? See? So then I answered it, and the client was like, okay, because they don't even know much about the terms and everything. Even though we educated the client, it kind of goes through their head. They don't know about 30 years for it. So the client was asking, how long before the company will pay out while I'm paying this, So don't interrupt the client. Let them hear them out, but obviously don't sit there and analyze their question, right? That's why you gotta be ready. You don't wanna sit there and be like, you know what, let me think about this. And you're in front of the client.
No, I think it's important to, if you didn't understand the question, have them clarify it too. Clarify. Like, say it again. Can you?
The objection with the question, right? do you mean this, right?
Yeah.
Do you mean like if you were to pass away, how long does the policy have to be in effect for? See, a question with a question, right? That's that. Feed it back, right? What we were talking about,
Yeah.
restate their
That's
concern in the form of
good.
a question, thus making them elaborate, explain defense. Just let the client reply to you, right? You're having, see, a lot of us want to get out of the appointment right away. We want to close so fast. We want to pick up the money.
Yeah.
Remember, this is going to be your long-term client.
Yeah.
If you don't hear them out, they're going to cancel their policy right away.
Yeah.
See, I take the time to answer all their questions so that later on they don't call me, oh, you didn't tell me this, or you know what, I was curious about this. I like to answer their questions so that they're satisfied, right?
That's good.
Question the importance. Ask them, how important is this area of concern, right? John, is this area of concern really critical in arriving at your final decision? Question them. How important is this? I started bringing the emotions. In sales, there's emotions, right? And I started asking, because we already knew that the husband had passed away, but I kind of got into the conversation by asking, hey, have you ever had anyone pass away in your family? And then she said, my husband. I already knew it, but I was just trying to, I didn't want her to know that I knew it, right?
Because we buy emotionally.
Yeah, so then I said, this is what I said. I said, oh, sorry to hear that. How did he pass away? An accident. See, we're asking questions. And then I said, how long ago was this? 2 years ago. See, now it's recent,
Yeah.
right? So isn't it important? And then I started asking, did he have life insurance? No, he didn't. It must have been hard when he passed away, right, to pay for the funeral. Did you guys have to do GoFundMe's, car washes? Yes, we did. See?
Yeah,
so I said,
that's good.
wouldn't it be important? I mean, if they had a life insurance, it would have been a lot. I mean, it's still emotionally bad, right? But financially, and then see, I addressed the area of concern, right? So you want to ask the client, how important is it insuring their family? And then she said, I've been wanting to do this. This is what she said. She said, me and my husband had gone to an event and we thought about getting life insurance, but we never got it. And the following month he passed away.
What happened to him?
Car accident. I think it was an accident. She said accident. But they had gone to a booth where they talk about life insurance, but they never got it. They just thought about it, you know?
Wow.
Answer the concern. Obviously answer it. Now you must choose from your menu of concern handling. So you got a menu. See, you got to have options, a toolbox full of how to respond.
Yep.
Sometimes you're not going to respond always the same. I know we're going to go over some objections, but you're not always going to respond the same way. Sometimes you're going to have to pull out something from your toolbox that's a little bit different, right? And closing strategies, which one is most applicable at this point, right? So they're not all going to apply to the same. Oh, but you told me to say this, and then it's a different response. No, sometimes there's going to be a different response towards the question, right? And then confirm the answer. After you answer the concern, you must always confirm the fact that you have answered the concern, or the person will bring it up. I always like to say, did I answer your question?
Yeah.
Did I answer your question? Right? Did that clear things up? See, because now I know that the client got it and it's ready to move on. Sometimes we don't clear it up and we move on because we want to keep going, and the client is still thinking about that and they stop paying attention to the rest of the presentation. So now that settles that concern, doesn't it? That settles that then, right? So that's that. So that's what you want to do. You want to say anything?
No, I would just say, because I'm an A-type, when it comes to objections, I remember in the beginning, I used to get so mad. I was like, oh my God, they're going to ask me a question, you know, because T's is different. They have all the answers, you know, they like knowledge. But I would say at least learn the basics. So if someone asks you a question about something, you know, an objection, which that's what it is, an objection, it means that they're interested. You just need to help them answer their question, right?
Yes.
Because it is really bad when someone says, oh, no questions, and they're not even looking at the presentation, you know? So I would say when it comes to objections, just make sure your body language doesn't show your fear, or like if you're in doubt. I know some people like to say or like you're thinking, right? People can't see that you're thinking about it, right? That's why I think coming to these trainings, especially this one, is very important, you know? Whenever there's an objection, make sure you write it down or even record. I know these are recorded. Go back and watch it, right? Because you don't want to be thinking in front of the client, right? Like taking like 3 minutes, like, oh, give me a second, let me go through my notes, right? No, you want to know it right then and there. And I would say tone of voice is very important. I know some people get defensive and clients could feel that. Like if you become defensive, they'll be like, oh my God, what's his or her problem, you know? And I think that was my problem because I wear everything on my face, right? Like a woman, right? Most of us. So I would just say keep cool, you know, when people give you objections. Don't let it throw you off, because I know it could throw most of us off. You know, we expect the presentation like how we role played it here, right? With no objections, but people are going to ask you questions. They are going to have objections, and that's why you're here, right? To learn how to overcome them.
Yeah, clients can feel you. They can feel if you're desperate. Trust me, and because we're kind of rushed, we don't want to answer their question. We just want to go through it, right? Mike Sharp, which he's a big time earner in Primerica, he says, in order for you to know pretty much everything that you need to learn in Primerica, you need to run at least 25 appointments in the field, kitchen table appointments by yourself, right?
Yeah.
If you run through 25 by yourself, that's not interviews, that is kitchen table, you'll pretty much know every objection to everything, right? It's not that we know all the answers out of nowhere, it's that we ran so many appointments and then we came across this one, we came across that one. Maybe I failed at this one, but I called my trainer, hey, how do I respond to this? So anytime you get on an appointment and they give you an objection that you couldn't overcome, call your upline, your trainer, and ask them, how can I overcome this one? Because there's an answer to everything, right? That's that. Questions, anybody have questions in the crowd? Good? All right, we're all gonna know. I'm gonna quiz you guys right now, so write these things down because I'm calling you guys. I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna do that. I hate it when we would do objections and they would call on me. I was nervous and I was, so I know how that is. So these are the most common objections when it comes to being in a business like this. These are the most common. Yes, there are gonna be other ones, but these are the most common ones, and we're gonna go over each one. How I respond to them on here is not gonna be always exactly how the person's gonna respond. Because sometimes one objection could lead to another objection. So that wasn't really the objection, right? Sometimes they're gonna say, I wanna think about it, but they wanna think about it because they're not good in sales, right? So you wanna get to the end of the right objection, right? So the main one that most people get, you'll do the rep, the prospect, and I'll do the recruiter. I wanna think about it, right? How many of you guys have gotten someone, even by booking an appointment, that says, I wanna think about it? You said, hey mom, hey dad, hey son, hey daughter, hey friend, would you be willing to help me out on a training appointment? And they say, well, let me think about it. Hey, do you want to join? Do you want to get life insurance? I want to think about it, right? Sometimes when my friends ask me to go out, back in the days when I used to go out, I say, let me think about it. I'll see, right? I'll look at my schedule, right? But this is common in everywhere. It's not just Primerica. These you're going to get them everywhere, right? So I want to think about it, right? Let me ask you this, Jackie. What exactly do you want to think about? When someone tells me they want to think about it, it's usually because of one of these three reasons. Number one, the stability of the company. Number two, they don't think they can do this. Or number three, the compensation, right? Those three are going to be the main areas of concern. How stable is Primerica? They don't think they could do this, which is the most common one. And the three, how we get paid. Honestly, how we get paid in the stability, you went through it in the presentation.
Yeah.
But the one that they say the most is they don't think they can do this. How do you overcome the stability? Because I don't have it written on here, is you show them facts about Primerica, which if you did the presentation, it shows the facts. How do you overcome the compensation? Even though you already went through how we got paid, you break it down again because sometimes they didn't get it because not everyone's good with numbers, but you don't have to be good with numbers. So let's say I say they don't think they can do this, the compensation. Which one is it, Jackie?
I don't think I could do it.
Okay, to be honest, Jackie, I felt the same way. I didn't think I could do this either, but as long as you're willing to learn, I'm willing to help you. Or you could say, there's a lot of different ways to say this, right? If I could teach you step by step on how to do this, would you be open to learning this, right? This one could always switch. That's why it's not one thing. Don't come back to me and say, Johnny, I said this and they didn't join. These are examples, right? Or they'll say, I didn't think I could do this, and then I'll answer the question, are you willing to learn? No, it's because I'm not good in sales. It leads to another objection, right? So let's say that it stops there. Are you willing to learn? If I'd be able to help you.
Yeah, willing to learn.
Okay, let's get you started. How are you gonna take care of the background check, Visa or MasterCard? Sometimes we keep talking and we forget to go to the closing question. This is the closing question. We are gonna ask for the money. Sometimes we're not where we wanna be at financially, so we're afraid to ask for the money. When I started Primerica, I barely had the 124. So whenever I would collect the money, I'd be like, oh, what if they don't have the money? What if they're the last 124? What if they're broke after this? It changed my life by giving the 124. So what it could do that for them.
Yeah.
I mean, how many of us have spent 124 on eating out, gas, shoes that we probably, I mean, they're long gone, right?
Makeup.
Yeah.
A lot of things we all have, right? We all have. So as that, I want to think about it. Mainly, they don't think they can see themselves. Let's say they say, well, sometimes they say another one, but it's gonna lead to the. Okay,
Can I say something?
Yeah, go for it.
I think it's important to ask something like this, like throw it back at them, ask them a question about them. You know, do you really want to do this? Because sometimes it's a cop out. Though I want to think about it. They really don't want to think about it. You know, so make sure you distinguish, because one mistake that I've seen a lot of people do is that the person doesn't want to do the business, but you guys are gonna realize most people don't know how to say no. They'll rather use an excuse, an objection that I don't want to do this, I don't have time. So as you go through running appointments and you get experience, you're going to be able to distinguish when to keep going or when to stop, because sometimes people try to overcome too many and it's like that person's clearly not interested, you know. So you need to learn the fine line where to stop, because we're not here to beg people, right? We're here to find the people that want to do it. But yeah, something similar to this question will help you figure out, because if the person says yes, then the rest is history, right? As long as they're willing.
If they say yes and they still keep giving you objections, like it is like a
real concern.
But find out, because sometimes people will lead to another. Sometimes they say, I want to think about it, and this is what I would say. Okay, think about it. When you finish thinking about it, let me know. I've been there where, like earlier outside us, like Sprouts, they're over here putting a table for something of a nonprofit, right? And then I'm like, man, how do I tell them no? You know, I'm in sales too, so I know how that feels. And what happens is people tell you when I think about it, they don't go home to think about it. They forget. The moment they leave the office, sometimes they do forget about it and they don't even think about it. I've called clients and I say, which life, what day do you want to get your life insurance? And then, have you guys thought about it? They say, no, we actually never thought about it. Let me talk to my husband still, you know? Another one, they say, I didn't think I could do it. Okay, Jacky, where do you work right now?
I work at Walmart.
Okay, before you started working at Walmart, I'm sure, I mean, let's say this was your first job. I'm sure that you didn't know nothing, right?
Yeah, I didn't know
You
nothing.
didn't know nothing.
No, I've never worked before.
How long have you been working there?
2 months.
2 months. Of course, you know more now today than you knew the first day, right?
Yeah, of course.
But
I
at
didn't know
fir-
how to work the register.
But at first you didn't know if you could do it, right?
Yeah.
But you tried it.
Yeah.
See, it's the same thing here in Primerica. Right now you don't think you could do this, but if we train you, if we teach you, obviously you could get good at this. See, all of us, wherever we worked our first job, we didn't know how to do it. To this day, I don't know how to work a cashier because I've never worked retail. I've never worked at a food store. I've never worked customer service before Primerica. All I knew how to do was work in the fields, work at a warehouse of Amazon, and work as a student assistant. See, but I got good at it because someone taught me, right? As long as they're willing to learn, as long as they tell you yes, game over, right?
Yeah.
I'm not good at sales, right? How many of you guys had a sales job, a commission sales job, not hourly, a commission sales job before?
Like you work like in a business and you get paid based on
Like
that?
commission, you sell a product
Sales.
or service.
Sales.
Barely, like less than 5 people. How many of you guys have sold a life insurance before?
Oh, yes.
See, most of us have sold a life insurance, but we weren't good in sales. So that's that's an objection that a lot of people are going to tell you, well, I'm not good in sales. Well, first of all, do you realize that right now you're trying to sell me on the idea that you're not good at this? So you are good in sales because you're trying to convince me that you're not good in sales, right? So check this out. What is it about sales that you don't like? Why don't people like sales? They don't like sales because people are pushy out there. There's pushy people, you know? A lot of places when I went to go buy my car at the dealership, right away up front, I told them I did sales, so they don't try to push me and they don't try to mess with me, right? But they were trying to get me to buy the car. I had a loan through the credit union, but they were trying to say, no, you could get the loan here and then you could transfer it and do this and that. I said, no, I'll come back when I have the check. See, they were trying to convince me to take the car that day because and that's why.
For them.
Yeah, and it was their last day of the month, so they were trying to collect the check, right? And right now they keep calling me because we're trying to buy a car for my mom. They keep calling me. See, I don't like that. That's why people don't like sales.
Mm-hmm.
What is it about sales that you don't like, Jacky?
People think of salesmen as pushy.
Have you ever had an experience where you bought something and you really enjoyed that?
Yes, I have.
I mean, what was it?
Oh wait, hold on.
No, it's not on there. What was it?
It was some shoes I bought at Macy's.
Some shoes?
Yeah.
Was that person being pushy to you that helped you?
No, they helped
No,
me
they
find
weren't.
the ones that I was looking for.
So here in this business, if I could show you how to be successful, educating families so that they feel good about you, can you think of any reason why you wouldn't go ahead and do that?
No, I can't.
Okay, let's get you started. How are you going to take care of that background check? See, if I could teach you in a respectful way to properly educate families, help them out with their life insurance, wouldn't you feel good about that?
That's good.
See, we're using the tie down and they say yes. See, they're answering. The more yeses the person gives you in sales, they're going to lead you to a yes, right?
Yes, momentum.
Yes, momentum. So everybody that tells you they're not good in sales, they're already selling you that they're not good in sales, right? All right, come on, let's go to the beach. Come on, let's go to this party. Come on, let's go here. They're selling you on the idea, let's go do this, right? So, and then they're trying to convince you. How many times people that are parents, right, your kids convince you to go buy them that toy,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
See, they keep telling you, right? So I'm not good in sales. Even little kids are good in sales because they sell you on those ideas, right? Is it commissions? I don't like commissions, right? This is Jacky's favorite one.
Yeah.
Before I started Primerica, I had never worked commission, but it's funny because even in the fields, they work commission. The more boxes you make in the grape fields, the more money you make. People in the fields, they work hourly and they work commission. And some people are pretty fast, so they don't need to do it hourly, they do it commission-wise. But yet when we come into a business like this, we think we're not good at commission because like, right, for example, my mom right now buys product from this company and they pay her, she'll buy like a box of 4 bottles of 1 liter and it'll cost her like $1.40 and she gets paid $10 on it. And my mom doesn't do it for the money, she does it to consume it, but they only pay her like $10. So a lot of people out there, they think that they're gonna get paid for one policy like $5.
They ask me, how much do you get paid for Zelle? Nada, me mandan 5 little samples.
Yeah.
That's what they say.
But in Primerica, they'll pay you $200 to $1,000, right? If you're below REP, and if you're above up to $2,000, that's why they don't know what commission is, right?
No.
Well, what if I don't sell policies? What if I don't work? Well, think about that. What if I don't work? Well, if you don't go show up to work, they don't pay you, right?
Right.
So, it's because at my job, it's secure. I get paid hourly. Yeah, but if the owner doesn't sell product, they can't pay you.
Right.
See, the owner works commission.
What I think happens, overcoming objections is really good that we master it, but what I believe happens is people get the paralysis of analysis.
Yeah.
They start thinking of all the possibilities that could go wrong instead of all the possibilities that could go right. And like they're like overcoming object, and then sometimes we have to do this. I've done this with people. I said, hold on. Let's just take it one step at a time. You're thinking of things that haven't even happened.
Yeah.
So that's why this, we walk around stressed. Let's just run. Like sometimes when people say, oh, I don't think I'm gonna do this. Okay, let's just run your first appointment. You might find out you love it and end up making more money than I do. Oh, you're right. Okay, let's just run your first appointment. Like allow them to take just the first step, not like REP. Nomás just the first step.
Yeah, and sometimes people say, I don't like commissions, but they never work commissions. Well, how do you know you don't like commission? Right? Well, I'm glad that you feel that way, Jacky, because if I was in your shoes, I feel the exact same way. If I could teach you on a part-time basis how to make full-time income on part-time hours without leaving your job, you would do it, right?
Yes, of course.
Okay, if I would train you on a part-time basis, say like 5 to 10 extra hours a week, and you start making an extra $300 to $500 in 1 hour, helping some families, would that be a good thing or a bad thing?
A good thing?
Well, there you go. It's not bad, right? So, you know how to say it a different way?
Yeah, so tell me I don't like commissions.
It's because I don't like commissions, Jacky.
Okay, well, me either. Before this business, I have never worked commissions, and I was scared because I thought commission meant like $5-10 per product. But here in this business, we get paid between $500 to $1,000 per policy. And by the way, you have a job right now, right?
Yeah.
And right now, you're gonna do this on a part-time basis. Whatever you make here is extra on top of what you're making at your job.
Okay.
So if I could teach you how to make extra money on the side, is that something you would be open on?
Of course.
Okay, well, let's get you started.
Whenever we're interviewing someone for the business, they think they have to leave their job to do Primerica.
Yeah.
So I'm like, do you forget that you still have a check coming in?
Mm-hmm.
So this is extra. So that's why they ask. That's why they're scared of commission. Is this a pyramid? This is the most common one. They've been saying this since 1977. They've been saying now, yesterday, tomorrow. They're always going to say it, right? They're always going to say it. So I should have looked it up. But the definition of a pyramid is when you're recruiting people into a business, but there's no product or service being sold. That's the real definition. When there's no product or services being sold, right? We sell insurance, we sell investments. That's how we make our money. If I bring actually, last year, we recruited 700 people on our team. If you were to take 700 times $124, I don't know, someone do the math, 700 and 124, bless you. 700 times 124.
86,000?
For sure, we don't have that 86,000.
Where's my
Right?
Where's my money? Where's my money?
We don't get paid to bring someone in. That person has to get the license, and that we still don't get paid if they get licensed. They still have to sell a policy. It's the same as real estate. In real estate, if you get a realtor but they don't sell a house, you don't get paid. You get paid if they sell a house. The broker gets paid if the agent sells a house. In Primerica, the trainer gets paid if the agent sold the policy, right? So I like to ask, well, to be honest, when it comes to objections, when you're brand new, they throw you a bunch of objections. Once you're skilled, they don't even bring these things up anymore. I haven't heard this one in like 4 years because they're just trying to get to you in the beginning. The person doesn't even know, they just heard it from a friend that it's a pyramid, but they don't even know what a pyramid is. So what's a pyramid to you, Jacky?
Someone on top makes all the, or someone on the top makes all the money.
Can I ask you a question, Jacky? Where do you work?
At Walmart?
In the company you work for now, do you have a manager above that?
Yes.
Does he have someone above that?
Yes.
Who makes more, the person at the top or the person at the bottom?
the guy at the top.
Right? It sounds very familiar to what we do, right? Because that's exactly how our company works. Different levels of management. But can you control your promotions at work?
No.
No, you can't. See, in Primerica, you can control your promotions. At work, you can't, right? Would you want to control your promotions?
Yes.
Then that settles that then. The most common ones when it comes to a pyramid are two things. Number one, you have to recruit. No, you don't.
No.
You could go sell life insurance at a 25% contract.
real.
Yeah.
You could be the best salesperson in this office. You don't have to sell. We have a guy in our office that's only recruited one person, but he's made more than $5,000 on a part-time basis,
Yeah.
selling 1 to 2 policies a month. He doesn't recruit.
Yeah.
And his only recruit got licensed but never sold the policy.
100%.
He didn't get nothing out of that. So you can make money without having to recruit anyone. But you cannot become a broker without recruiting. That's why you're called a broker, because you lead a team of agents, or else you're an agent, right?
And it's all traditional sales. Like when people say it's a pyramid, I think you were gonna say it, right? Making money off of people.
Yeah.
Like I used to work for Ashley's Furniture. The managers, they won't get their bonus if nobody's selling furniture. So it's the same thing in car sales, furniture sales.
Real
There's always
estate.
someone making money off
Yeah.
of someone, right? In management, you get paid bonuses if the store, obviously the performance is up or the sales are up. So it's the
Yeah,
same thing in
and-
America.
In the fields, when I worked in the fields too, because this all relates to everything. When I worked in the fields, the more boxes we make, the more the boss makes.
Yeah.
In any job, if you're a manager, you want your store to perform better because they pay you more. And if they don't perform better, you don't get your bonus, and now you're pissed off at your workers, right? See, and that's another one. Another one, someone at the top makes all the money. Isn't that in everywhere where someone at the top makes all the money? That would suck if the person at the top doesn't make up more money, you know? Why would you want to go to the top if they make less, right? But the thing is, in this business, you can pass up the person above you,
Love it.
right? There's several people in this office that have passed up the person that they brought them in, right? Nelson was brought up by a guy. The guy's still at a 25%. Nelson's at a 60%. You passed him up. Pass him up, right? If you don't want them to override you, then pass him up. Someone had, Jordan, you want to say something?
No, you're example.
So that's that. So when someone says this, they honestly don't know what it means because they never searched the pyramid. Because online is whenever there's not a service or a product being sold. If you're just paying to join, and then the next person's paying to join, and the next person's paying to join, well, first of all, you pay $124, and Primerica pays over $500 in licensing fees, just your insurance license. So they lose money, right? Boys, why do I have to pay to work there? Well, whenever you work at In-N-Out, you gotta buy shoes. Or whenever you work at a restaurant, you gotta buy non-slippery shoes and a food handler's card.
Yeah.
Right? If I want to get into a career, I had to pay for my degree. It wasn't free, right? So that's that. Questions on this? I want to get my license first. I don't want to go see my family and friends. That was me. I didn't want to go see family and friends until I got my license. That's an objection, right? I just wanted to get my license before I saw anyone. I wanted to learn everything about Primerica before I went to go talk to the world. Right? Well, good thing it isn't like this. Good thing it's the other way around, where we want you to talk to people before you get your license. That's how my parents got life insurance, and when my dad passed away, Primerica paid out. But if Raul would have gotten his license first and then sold life insurance to my mom, who knows if my mom would have bought after, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just curious, Jackie, so you don't want to go see your family and friends, right?
Yeah, that's right. I don't want to cross that line, and I don't want to bother them.
Well, let me ask you this, Jackie. What has your family done to you that you dislike them so much? The reason I'm asking is because we're going to sit down with them, set them up with a financial game plan, get them properly protected, and retire with money. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I would say it's a good thing.
Let me ask you this. If you were at a store and you were shopping and there's a sale on something everyone wants, what did you tell the people? What did you tell family and friends?
Everybody.
Right? If there was let's say you were at a Gucci store and the belts were for $100, wouldn't you want to tell
I'll
everybody?
tell everybody.
Of
even on
course.
social media,
Well, why would you do that?
because they could benefit from it.
Of course, because you care about them. Let me ask you, what's more important, a shirt, pants, or a device that's on sale, or financial freedom?
Financial freedom.
See, a lot of people say, I don't want to go talk to my family. Do you realize that your family member might pass away with no life insurance?
Yeah.
I don't want to go talk to my friends. Do you realize that they might never find out what an investment account is?
Yeah.
You don't know how many people I sat down with that they're 50 and they're saying, this is the first time I heard about this information. Yesterday, the lady had never heard about life insurance.
Yeah.
She said, if I would have known about life insurance and I exactly knew what it was, I would have bought it a long time ago.
That's crazy.
But because there's a lot of financial institutions that screwed over people out there, there's a lot of miseducation, you know? So, what's the worst thing that a family can say? No, I don't want it. But I feel guilty whenever I didn't tell someone and they passed away and it has happened. Then when I told someone and they didn't buy it. I'd rather tell you, and if you don't buy, that's different.
Yeah.
But I feel guilty whenever there's been times where someone passed away and I didn't tell them because I was too scared to tell them or because I just didn't and they passed away. See, there's nothing wrong with seeing family and friends. They always say this, well, Primerica forces you to go see your family and friends. well, if you were gonna start any business, you're first gonna go talk to your family and friends. If you're gonna start an eyelash business, you're gonna go talk to your friends first,
Yeah.
right? Because we want you to practice with family and friends, so that when you meet a stranger, you don't mess it up. See, that's that. Questions? Okay, I don't have the money, right? A lot of people is this one. If they really don't have the money, I mean, they really don't have the money, right? Doesn't mean they can't do it. Eventually, they'll come up with the money. But price is only an issue in the absence of value, right?
Yes.
Most people might have the money, but they might find a way to say they don't have it because they don't see the value of it yet, right? So you gotta go ahead and show them value. Let me ask you this: when are you gonna have the 124,
By
Jackie?
next week I get paid.
Is it because you get paid next week?
Yeah, I do.
The 124 is not the problem; it's the solution to your problem. Aside from the 124, is there anything else stopping you from doing the business?
No.
All right, let's get you trained.
Mhm.
This one I put it straight to the point because sometimes it goes from this to another objection to another objection to another. If they really don't have the money, you can't do nothing about it,
Yeah.
right? But sometimes they do have the money, they just don't see the value of spending it, right? Because I used to think, man, they're gonna put 124, I'm gonna make them spend their last dime. But do you realize that the 124 is gonna help them get a license where they're gonna make more money?
Right.
If you don't have the 124 this week and you didn't have it last week, you're not gonna have it next week and the week after.
Yeah.
So we need to change that habit, right? Now, if you're close to that person, you could say, can I talk to you like a brother, Jackie?
Yeah.
Okay, then you don't have the 124, right?
No.
How does it make you feel that you don't have the 124?
Bad.
Wouldn't you want to make a change?
Yeah.
But that one you have to say with tonality, right?
Compassion. Yeah.
Compassion, tonality, because you don't want to offend the person, right? But some people, like, you got to give them a reality check, but in a nice way.
Yeah.
Because if they don't have the money, and they've been like that for the past 3 years, it's going to be like that for the next 3 years,
Yeah.
right? And our goal is to help the individual, not bash on them, because we've been there at some point, but to, hey, how can that change? That changed for me. How can I help change for you?
Yeah, and I wanted to say that when it comes to this objection, right? Because for me, I remember I didn't want to pay when I came to Primerica. I had the money, I just didn't want to pay because I didn't know if I wanted to do Primerica. And to be honest, that's most people. Some people is legit. Some of them is like an excuse. That's their way out. So I think this one's very important because regardless of picking up the money, because we don't get paid on it, right? Regardless, you need to pick up the person. You need to pick up their commitment. So I remember my trainer said, oh, well, you could come to she invited me to the meeting. And I thought they were after my 124. I don't know why, right? I was so broke, right? I thought they were going after my 124. So when they invited me, I was like, wait a minute, they're not after my 124. So I said, oh, okay, then let me get started. For some people, it's just the trust. They don't know if they could trust because I went to a seminar a long time ago, free education on how to flip homes, and at the end, $300, and you're like, oh, they wanted my money, right? That's what a lot of people do. They go to seminars and they want money. So sometimes people have that misconception here. They're like, oh, they're after my 124. Little do they know we make nothing on it, right? So I feel like this one's important because we found great people that didn't have the 124 but found the 124 because we allowed them to still come into the office, right? Like we have a training because you want to pick up their commitment, and that's how you'll know if it's an excuse or not. Because if you tell people, oh, is there anything else stopping you? And then they start saying, oh, but this and that, now you know that's not the real problem.
Yeah.
So I feel like that question right there is very important to ask.
Yeah, and if you explain it well, like for example, me and Jackie personally have probably recruited in the last 5 years like 300 to 500 people. I could count on my hands probably the amount of people that have asked me for a refund. And the reason why they don't ask for a refund is because I sold the value of it and because they know that it was on them that they spent it and they didn't do the work.
Right.
They know they spent 124 and it was on them that they stopped showing up and doing the classes, right? So if they're asking for a refund a lot, sometimes you're not explaining the 124 right? But if you explain it, they know it's on them and they forget about the 124. I mean, we've all spent, but let's say they do get their license, they can go take their license anywhere else.
Yep.
I mean, go take your license to a State Farm, Farmers, and Allstate, and they will take you in, right? So the 124, guess what? It's just for the classes and the background check. People can still learn the business without the 124. And then I don't have time, right? A lot of people say they don't have time. To be honest, the people that don't have time and are the busiest, they do good in this business
Yeah.
because they don't take their time for granted. But then a lot of people say they don't have time, but they really do have time. Right? They say, I go to the gym, I take care of my dogs, I do this, but that's not making them money,
Yeah.
right? And they walked into the meeting for a reason, because they want to make more money, right? So basically what you're trying to tell me, Jackie, is that you're too busy. Is that pretty much what you're trying to tell me?
Yes.
Okay, let me ask you a question, Jackie. Do you feel like you're busy getting by or busy getting ahead?
I feel like I'm just getting by.
And okay, I get it. So how does your week usually look like?
Well, I work 2 jobs and I also take care of my family.
Okay, cool. If I could show you a means where you can work on a part-time basis, 5 to 10 extra hours a week, eventually make $300 to $500 an hour, make $1,000 a month. I mean, do you think that would help you in getting ahead more than what you're currently doing?
Absolutely.
How much time can you give me a week?
I would say about 5 hours a week.
About an hour a day?
Yeah.
Okay, that's enough. Okay, great. Why don't we go ahead and take a look at that? Fair enough. How are you going to take care of the background application, Visa or MasterCard?
Visa.
Find time, right? Ask them how's their week. Some people tell you, oh no, I'm busy. And then they're busy throughout the week, but the weekend they have off. But they think we don't work weekends, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people have time on the weekends. A lot of people at least, I mean, how long does an appointment take? 1 to 2 hours. We all have at least 1 to 2 hours in a day or at least in a week, right? We
Yeah,
all
my
have,
trainer said, I told my trainer, how much time, many hours, like how much time do I have to give? And luego me dijo, how much time can you give?
Mhm.
Yeah, and then I said, 5 hours, perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like me, when I started the business, there was no Zoom. And I couldn't go to the weekly trainings. I was living in Long Beach. I would drive 2 hours on a Saturday because we had Saturday trainings. And then I would leave back. And I would just do the first 6 months, I just did every Saturday. And I'm still here 5 years
Yeah.
later, right?
Right.
So a lot of people say I don't have the time because it's a cop-out. They're trying to tell you, no, I don't have time to go to the meeting. They do have time, but they don't know how to say no, right? So find out their week, right? If they say, I go to the gym for 5 hours because I need to be healthy. Well, yes, but you said you wanted to make more money because of this and this and that. What if you could sacrifice 2 hours at the gym, don't go the full 5 hours, and then, right? So find ways for people to make this work. It's on a part-time basis. We have no quotas, so someone cannot get fired by not coming today. Obviously, you want to come today to learn, right? So some people are really busy, but let's say that they're busy this month, they could come back next month, right? That's why you want to get licensed. A lot of people tell me, it's because I'm busy with school. Let's get you licensed right now so that in summer you're already licensed and we don't have to work on getting you licensed, right? Find time for people. People will find time for things that they prioritize, right? And those are the most common objections. Any questions so far?
No, that's good.
Obviously, you gotta practice it over and over again. One time is not gonna do it. You screenshotted all these, took pictures of this, wrote this down. Sometimes it's gonna go another way, right? They're gonna ask something else that you didn't think. But the thing is, learn how to respond. Once you learn how to respond, not even your friends could tell you, you know how to overcome it. And I love it about sales because whenever I go with my mom to, like, let's say when I want to go buy my car, if we go to the dealership with mom, I go get a cell phone. I know what they're trying to do. I know if they're trying to sell me something or not, right? But you want to learn these skills right here. Questions, comments, concerns. I know we're out of
Skills
time.
pay the bills.
Yeah.
I know we ran out of time for Yvette's training, but she's gonna be training on the KT hopefully soon, right?
Yeah, we're actually gonna her part is gonna be on Wednesday morning.
Okay, cool.
We're gonna do it Wednesday morning.
And it's gonna be on Zoom Wednesday morning. It's gonna be, now this was interview recruiting objections. Like if you're trying to bring someone into the business. Yvette's gonna go over it, like if you're selling life insurance objections, KT, kitchen table. It's called kitchen table because people have their finances near the kitchen table, right? Now we do Zoom table, right? Or Zoom video. But that is our part for today. I mean,
Excellent.
we didn't have a lot of time,
Yeah.
but I think we finished at a good time. Anybody have questions?
So
Go
we
for
have, what times are the Zoom meetings on Wednesdays?
I'll go over them on Tuesday, on Wednesdays.
Well, right now.
I'll post it up. I'll post it up on the screen.
On Wednesdays, from 9 to 11 a.m., we have trainings here at the office. Thursdays, 9 a.m. to 11, right? Monday nights, right? We have training from 8 to 9 p.m. Friday nights, 7 p.m. to 8:30. Is all of this mandatory? Nothing here is mandatory, but if you want to win in this business, you're going to have to come to everything, right? Because there's going to be, the people that didn't come today missed out on today's training, right? It's not the same when you're not in class, right? When I was learning on an online class, it was a lot harder than when I learned it in person, right?
Yes.
You want to come to all the trainings, you can, but if not, they're recorded on the QR links. You could find those recordings. But make it out. If you don't have nothing going on, make it out to these trainings. 2 hours on a Wednesday, 2 hours on a Thursday, an hour and a half on a Friday, an hour on a Monday night. I mean, they're not bad, right? And then with Coach Gary every Saturday training on Zoom, sometimes in person, from 8 a.m. to 11, right? And that's that. Questions, comments, concerns? That's it.
Yeah,
Let's
phenomenal.
give it up for Jacky and Johnny!
Thanks, Alex.
Yeah,
we do have it's like an open house for the business. If you don't want to do a one-on-one recruiting presentation, you could bring people to the office on Tuesday afternoon. We do have what's called opportunity night to showcase our business. So Tuesday, that's from 7:30 to about 8:30. Make sure you come, bring all your Spanish-speaking people. We will be here explaining what we do, sharing what we do, how we get paid. But win on 3. 1, 2, 3.